We're doing a public comment. Part of the right of first refusal is that these farmers have gotten a tax discount over the course of years through the Chapter 61 program. But if they decide to sell their land, the town has the right of first refusal. This is something that's enshrined in Massachusetts general law. It's
Hello?
Is that Richard? Richard, hello, Richard. We just started the meeting. Hold on, he's up, he's gonna be. Hear us?
Is he muted?
No, that's meaning I can mute him if I.
Okay, that's all right.
Hold on, sorry.
Can you hear us?
Richard, can you hear us?
I can.
Okay.
We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, you had that problem last time.
Yeah,
That's maybe his audio is not.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you are. We see you now, Richard.
All
Okay.
right.
Where was I? Okay, so Massachusetts general law has a process for how right of first refusal is supposed to go, and many other communities in the Commonwealth have a protocol that they follow. And it's just meant to make it a little bit easier so that everybody, both on the landowner's side as well as the town hall side, can kind of work through the process. There's a 120-day window where relevant parties at town hall are given the opportunity to consider whether that property is something they'd like to purchase. Under Massachusetts general law, the Historical Commission of a town is one of those entities that should be privy to the notice of sale in case it's an interesting property from a historical standpoint or any other standpoint. So agricultural's on there, your commission's on there, the Community Preservation Committee's on there, as well as a couple of other committees that may intersect or have some interest in a property that's coming out of this 61 chapter. So I'd like to develop a protocol. I have a draft made. I've started to go around to all of the relevant boards and commissions just to get some feedback and see if it's something that looks practical, if it's something that you folks think is easy to follow. You have a say in this. So, you will have to have a decision for the select board because the select board ultimately decides. So I'm trying to figure out a way, because in the past what's happened when properties have come out and there's been money to purchase them because we have CPC funds, sometimes boards have, learned of that information much later on. And because the state only gives us 120 days, even though the will from the town hall, as well as the monies are there, we just can't act on it and the property's lost. So it's happened a few times in the 5 years that I've been on AdCom. So we decided to look and see how other communities are doing it.
Okay, my first question would be, is this the farmer or the owner of that farm, is his or her hands being tied by saying the town first refusal?
No, by law, they have to give the town the right of first refusal because what they got in exchange is a heavily reduced tax rate.
Yeah.
Oh, I see
So-
what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
right,
that's
so
part
they-
of the deal.
Yeah, you got a very low tax rate, so we have the now, I'm gonna guess that's.
Exactly, that's the
Yeah.
incentive.
They
you know?
sign
Yeah.
off for
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Exactly, so, yeah.
So my second question would be, this would obviously, we'd have to go to town meeting to vote on whether we're gonna spend the money in purchasing this property.
If it got to the point where a relevant entity, say your commission, said, yes, we're interested in buying this particular property, it's got historical value to it. You've gone to CPC, the Community Preservation Committee, and they've said, yeah, we have the money for it, and it seems like there's consensus for it. You'd go and express your interest. What this document says is that it would basically line out the steps so that you make sure to express your interest to the select board. The select board documents it. The select board then puts it to town meeting to vote.
That's
Exactly.
Right. the
So
article.
basically just enshrining the protocol, because it's happened so many times where we've gotten close to the 120-day mark. And, we can't move forward. And annoyingly as well for the landowner, they may see that town hall has an interest. They may have a private buyer. They're waiting to see if town hall takes any action.
Mm.
In the meantime, sometimes the 120 days goes by, town hall can't really execute, and their buyer has lost interest as well. So this is as much for the protection of landowners so that they can figure out if they have a viable sale from town hall, or, if it goes through all of the boards and everybody follows the protocol and lets the select board know within 30 days, as we're supposed to by Massachusetts state law, the select board can say, hey, nobody expressed any interest in this. They can get back to the landlord that much or to the landowner that
Mm.
much faster and say, you know what, we're not interested. Feel free to sell it to anybody. You
So
know,
when does the town get notified? When does the 120 days start?
120 days starts from the day the landowner comes to town hall.
Or they have to come to
They
town
have to
hall?
come, exactly.
Okay.
This is also written on the protocol that I've developed. So there's some steps that the landowner needs to check off and that the select board needs to check off to make sure that, you know, we've gotten the proper documentation. That includes also a purchase and sale agreement from somebody, a private buyer, so that we can actually meet the market rate and make sure that we're offering them a bona fide fair market
Oh, I
price.
see. So
Okay,
but they
that's-
can put it on the market. They
Exactly.
can get a written thing,
Offer,
offer
Exactly.
from an outside buyer.
Exactly.
And then they have to,
the town would have to
Notify
match
the
it or
town.
more.
Exactly.
and so
Okay,
you're trying to
that's fine.
get something where all these groups, these, representative commissions meet within 30 days of that notification.
Exactly.
So, you'd have to get each representative's email or something,
Correct.
send out a group email, have the meeting, tell the selectmen, then they can either say yes or no, and you have to go through the word, the CPC too at some
Okay.
point.
Correct.
would
Yep,
imagine.
exactly.
Is that within that 30 days as well, or do you have to go to the
You have
selectmen
100
first?
and, what's.
Well, you said go to the selectmen within 30 days, so they
Right,
can notify
so-
the landowner, yes or
Exactly.
no.
At that point, if there is interest, say somebody does say there's interest. Landowner comes to town hall, they start filing their paperwork. By law, because they got the nice tax incentive, they have to do
Right.
the right of first refusal. Select board at that point has to notify a few boards, including your board, as stipulated by Massachusetts state law. Your board has 30 days then from that point, from the moment that the select board informs
No,
you.
It's not a group meeting.
No, no,
It-
no.
It's every
So you-
individual board gets to meet, and then we notify the selectmen, and
Exactly.
they decide, and they go before CPC?
At that point, if there is interest, they would work with your commission and you would go to CPC, exactly.
And then the selectmen would have to, like, you'd have to get a meeting really quick with CPC, and
Yeah.
then, cause they'd have to
One
turn
hundred
around,
and twenty days at that point. At that point, after the
and they'd
30
have to turn around
days.
and do a special town meeting.
No, you can, well, that's the thing. So sometimes you can have the special town meeting. Other times, if you've already expressed the interest, there's a whole nother component to it
Oh.
where, you
They can
can,
wait.
you can wait. Yes, you can wait if
Oh.
there's an actual bona fide offer from the town.
Okay.
But the idea is to get all the parties informed in
Mhm,
time, so that way everybody can kind of move on with their life, both the landowner, the boards and commissions, select board. I'm going to assume in most scenarios, we're not probably going to pass up the offer, you know, just because we do have a limited amount of money set aside to preserve land. You know, we have to kind of evaluate which properties are going to give us the most bang for our buck. That's the case, but this is more just about due diligence and kind of just following MGL, you know.
That's
Mass
the only thing I
General
see that could be a problem with, say, if this landowner needs to make sure this is a quicker process than what you're doing.
Law. Yeah,
Because I've seen town processes take a little bit.
Yeah.
You may be tying their hands up, you know what I mean, if they needed to do this very quickly.
Well,
It-
that landowner would present his bona fide offer to the town,
Yeah.
and then we can start the process.
exactly.
And then within 30 days,
Well,
we tell the
hopefully,
selectmen yes or no, and then they can turn around and tell the landowner, go ahead and sell it to the private party, or no, we are interested.
And in which
Okay,
case you have the additional 90 days to sort out whether there's monies allocated and look at when the next town meeting is. If the special town meeting needs to be scheduled, if there's one coming up, you can kind of decide on
I
that
can
point,
see
and
the
that's.
process, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, what's happened, for instance, is that we have found out on AdCom sometimes at around 100 days. So that doesn't even give us time to have our next meeting. We've had to schedule a special meeting to discuss it, and then we've gone to CPC. And CPC has said, okay, well, there's monies for it. Let's see what we can do in the turnaround time before the next select board meeting. And then we're at 120 days and the property's gone. So this is more just to kind of get ahead of the curve, do things in the right way that we're supposed to by Massachusetts law.
Yeah, So
And
everybody knows the process, that's great.
exactly,
Yeah.
let everybody know, I don't know if your commission has ever been apprised of.
Yeah, with the
land.
CPC,
With-
yeah, we've done a few things.
Oh, of what the CPC,
Recommending, right.
well, no, that, I don't think she meant that.
When a property
If
has
a
come out,
property-
Oh,
have you
property.
guys
I'm too
gotten,
new.
That's different.
No, yeah, I'm not,
What we
even
have
the, well,
recommendations
yeah, cause I
together.
can't even, I can't remember the only, I just remember reading about the golf course. You know, when the-
Oh,
when-
reading about
when the
it, yeah.
land, you know,
I
in the
don't think
town,
anything's come before this.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that we've,
You know,
been aware
other
of.
projects
yeah,
that come,
Yeah, other
that have, that
projects.
may have historic, value that have been presented
yeah,
to the CPC, like, repairs at the Morehouse.
House,
Right.
yeah,
They then, you know, they'll come to us first for a recommendation to go with the
police
CPC.
department roof and.
But not.
no, no
not
property purchase.
property.
No,
Not
nothing
like
specified.
You're talking about under 61A, no.
yeah, and there's been a couple that have come out of 61A just in the last 6 months.
Really?
Yes, so
Oh,
that's case in
wow.
point there, and you know, when I've gone to other commissions and boards, I've asked them, you know, when's the last time you guys got a notification, just to kind of have an idea of how needed this is
So
or not.
who actually gets the notification from the landowner?
Well, you should be getting notification, so the landowner
Well, not
notifies,
us personally,
right.
but somebody, he
The
has to
select-
tell
yeah,
somebody,
the select board,
and
and
then
then the
they
select
should,
board
they
can-
should tell us all.
correct.
And you're-
According
you're-
to the
your
Mass law,
board,
yes.
Us, everybody else.
According to Mass General Law, the select board is the one that's
Okay.
supposed to receive the notice and kind of stamp it and verify that they've received it, put it into records, say, starting from this day, the landowner
And
came to
then-
town hall or sent it via certified mail. 120 days starts from here. We, as a select board, have 30 days then to do our due diligence and go down this list and just send an email or put a notice in your mailbox to say, folks, this is the property that's on for sale. Here's what, a private landowner has offered, or a private buyer has offered, you know, to purchase it, any interest. You know, obviously, if you default and say nothing, that's considered a no as well.
Right.
But at least you've been informed.
But when-
Right now, you're not
once-
getting any notice,
We're not
right?
getting anything,
Okay.
but once we are informed, then how long do we have? Because we only meet once a month. And we, you know, we could call a special meeting or we could do it by email, but, you know,
Correct. If you saw
Okay.
that it was a meeting, or a property of interest, you can do it within the next month from your you know, you getting notification of it. And you can let the select board know, say, hey, we are interested. This is where there's a little bit of leeway to obviously accommodate people's lives. You can say, hey, we are interested. We're gonna try to schedule a special meeting within the next 30 days, but we just want you to know, we're interested, but we'd like to discuss it. And I would say, it would be even nice to invite the select board to kind of come in and, you know, have them hear your discussion, or if you wanna do that separately, that's fine. That's kind of up to you in terms of how you guys deliberate it, but, you know, you can at least let them know, hey, we are interested.
and I don't know if you have the information, but of the couple that we lost in the, you know, the couple of 61As
Yes.
that you said turned over, was that because nobody made that 120 days or because they weren't interested?
We
Just
did,
as a
yeah,
curiosity.
we did, the last one, there was money for it, there was interest, we just ran out of time. We heard way too
That's-
late
that's
about it,
sad.
yes.
That's the sad
It's
part.
sad,
If
yeah.
nobody wanted it, okay, fine, but
Yeah.
that's sad. Yeah.
Agriculture heard about, I think conservation heard about it first, agriculture didn't, so there was a lag time already of 2 weeks there. We were already well into 60 days or 70 days.
Oh,
So by the time agriculture said, yeah, we will support conservation, we'll go with you to the CPC and see if there's any chance of monies for it. CPC said, yes, there are monies for it, so how about we try to figure out, you know, going together to the next select board meeting and expressing the interest. By the time that happened, we were at about 120, you know, that 120 mark. And obviously the landowner legally has the right at that point to say, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I want to move on with
Private
my
sale.
life.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm bringing up,
Exactly,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
just
right.
not sure, what was the piece of property or where was it, or was it a?
Yeah, it was on Wart Vining, so it's now being developed. It would have been reserved into farmland, or it was actually being discussed as farmland and recreational usage.
Yeah.
But it's now being turned into a bigger development, so kind of, you know, very illustrating example of what can happen, how much change can happen.
As your committee there or whatever, are you looking at stuff that looks like it's available for sale? Like, I'm surprised it was never brought up about North Lawn Yard. You know that if they develop that property up over the hill there, to the right,
which you're talking
there's,
about.
there's a lot of acres up there. They're saying they can get 100 homes in there.
Right.
And that, yeah. Are you looking at something like that to try to intervene there?
Only if that property happens to be in chapter 61, then we have grounds to have the option to say if we want to buy it or not. If not, if it's not in any chapter land, even if it's farmland, the
Yeah.
farm.
Hathaway and Steve, it's still Hathaway and Steve property.
If they don't didn't get the tax break, if they've been paying taxes
Then they can
for
do
all
whatever
these
they
years,
like.
and they
Right.
can do whatever they want, and that is the property. And that's exactly what happened at the property where Havana was gonna.
Right, they were commercial,
did
they were
not-
commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
they
right,
did
'cause
not
they were
have
commercial.
61A. They, even though it was, considered agricultural.
Yep.
property,
Right, they were-
But I
they were
imagine up
zoned and,
off of North Long Yard, that's probably agricultural.
I would imagine
Yeah.
that is.
Right,
Because
yeah.
Arnold's have fields up there too and everything, so,
Yeah.
Right.
Because
but that's. Impact of 100 homes on Southwick, that's a lot.
It's a lot, obviously, and that
Yeah.
brings up a whole nother set
Yeah.
of discussions in terms of our infrastructure, our capacity. And that, isn't necessarily covered in this protocol. The idea of this
Yeah.
protocol is more just to kind of get our ducks in line and just
we would
have better
definitely like to be
communication
included.
amongst each other.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I have a draft copy that I've sent to the Historical Commission town email a couple of times, but I haven't gotten any response,
I
so I
don't
wanted
think
to
I-
come in
I don't have
person. Oh, okay. I went
Or-
through
or
the
you-
We
Please
have,
send it
we're
to-
gonna have a new
Oh,
I put
email.
it in here.
We're gonna have a new email
I
address,
went
so
through the
There's a note here.
Historical Commission webpage on the Southwick Mass website. Let's see, I can tell you. Okay, I sent it to historical@southwickmass.net.
well,
We have a new,
it wouldn't have been, there it is.
Okay,
It's just where .gov.
It's just .gov.
okay, and is this checked pretty regularly? So,
You will do that now.
If I
Pretty regularly.
can get access to it, I'll check it,
Okay, yeah,
okay, then
but I just never have access to those ones. So.
well, you can just type it in now.
But I have to like log in, I don't know the login information to check it.
oh, you have to see Jim.
Okay, so it's
You
an
got
email,
that?
yes, I
Okay.
did, thank you. So if I send the draft copy to this email address, what I've been asking other boards as well, part of the reason why I come in person is I also want to figure out the best way to get this to folks. Some boards work very differently in terms of their flow. They'll have a secretary and then the secretary sends everything. Sometimes board members have written their emails down because they don't want the secretary involved and they just want the email sent directly. What works best for
But
you
you
guys?
were sending
Yeah.
emails out.
I send emails from my email, but I don't have access to the historical email account.
Okay.
But
Well,
wouldn't
see if
you,
you
but
can.
can't,
She has to see Jim.
I can see Jim and
See
he can give me
Jim,
access. So I
okay.
thought that was like a you thing.
I
That's why I was.
I don't think any of us have it,
Okay.
so that's why nobody responded, because I don't think we all have access. This is,
Yeah.
Yes,
we're all
see what he can
fairly
do
new.
to set
So,
up.
yeah, he can just.
see.
And
Okay.
it might have been the previous chairman had access
Oh,
and
okay.
didn't tell us about it.
Well,
But if Cindy
why
gets
we come in
access,
person to ask and make
Perfect.
sure what the
And
best workflow is for you
and then
folks,
she can
so.
disseminate it,
Okay, so,
And then I can forward it to you. guys.
everybody, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
great, I'll send that draft over, and I know you guys don't meet that often, I was looking
Once
through
a
the
month.
Once a
calendar.
month, yeah.
Do you have an idea of when your next meeting
It'd
is?
be the first Monday of the month,
First Monday of the
if
month.
we get it right.
Very well, would it be okay with you then, Mr. Chairman, if I were to come back at that meeting with a
Mr.
month?
Chairman.
Enough time to review it, and then I'd like to get your feedback, and if you think
Yeah.
this part's confusing, or you know what, this doesn't make sense. There's time to change it and edit it and make it actually commonsensical, that's the idea, right? I mean, that's why we're doing
And
this.
it's simple.
And
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly, so, I've
Oh,
been
yes,
adding
absolutely.
quotes and suggestions from different boards, and now it's your turn, so I'd like to have your input, so. Okay, I'll be back then the first, Monday in
In June.
June.
Then he's gonna
6:30?
tell us what day that is.
First Monday, it's the Monday, the fifth.
The fifth.
The fifth. Very good, I will be here then. Well, thank you very much for your time and for just being willing to hear this out, and hopefully.
You know, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do remember her when I was doing DARE, Cause you can never forget the smile that she
Oh.
always.
Thank you, Officer Sanders. Well, thank you very much for your time and willingness to hear this out, and we'll be back in a month.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
What about buying more money?
Okay, we'll move on to
I know we're not,
Minutes
just
here.
while we're, but the thing is, I don't know what the property had to sell for a ton of money though. I'm
Well,
just saying, so who would,
CPC said they had it. They had gone to it, they just ran out of time, but CPC was ready.
How more time you're talking
Yeah,
about?
I wonder how much, we're talking probably, it's gotta be at least $1 million though. We would, no?
We're about a more money than
Well, I
I'm
don't-
talking
paid
about.
5 million for North Bologna.
Yeah, but we had to go get other money on top of it though.
We're on more
Well,
finance.
either it's at the end
I think it's further.
or I know there's a new development
That's
going
not,
in.
Diana Flynn's property,
No,
no,
but somewhere in there, and I don't remember, I thought it was our Pinellas.
it could be,
It's our Pinellas.
it could be.
It is.
Yes, they want, because right now they were looking at building 30 homes on that property.
It's our Pinellas. I bet you it's our Pinellas.
You know what?
But that was a historic house that
Yes,
he was living in.
right,
Oh, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I don't know if that's, I have no idea.
well, someone's doing
What
work
a
there,
shame, what a shame.
At the house, you mean?
yeah, I saw some work.
Oh, all right. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
driven by there in a long time, but I'm just saying is, and if the town, well, I don't know, I guess.
So
it
they
will
ran
pro-
out of time.
My question, I guess, would be, so once I have land for sale, all right? I go to tell the select board. The select board and the historical commission is interested in it, but now and the CPC says, yes, there's money there. The question is, how long is that process gonna take?
Right, that's what I was trying
And,
to bring
well,
up.
and it's gotta go to the town, what if it goes to a town meeting and they voted down?
Right, he goes.
And they
Well,
say
then
no,
there's nothing-
And what if he loses that other person that was
Well,
interested in the property?
Yeah, well, that's
That's a.
that's the risk he takes,
Right.
because he took the 61A lot, a lot less taxes for all those
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
which
that's the
makes
risk-
sense, which makes
That's the
sense.
risk
Yeah.
he takes that somebody else, may come along and say.
But then if
"I don't
somebody
want
wanted the land bad enough, they'd wait, so
They'd wait,
if it was that big of a piece of property or whatever.
but, that's a shame up there, because, with building houses. But don't, people want more,
they already put a bunch of houses up there already down there,
and you can,
the 400.
At the end of my mining, there's,
$500,000
Yeah.
homes.
Yeah, that's great.
Is that where you live down?
Yeah,
there?
no, that's not where I live, but I've heard and seen a lot of people talking like on the forum about how they keep building houses, but they're not affordable homes. They're ridiculously priced homes.
Well, I can see.
but what affordable or not, they're gonna add. Roads to plow, they're gonna
Right,
add.
unless they keep it a
Police, they're
private
gonna have
development.
fire, they're gonna have, and the only times you have private development is when you have, the seniors. Complexes that don't have kids. But that's just my,
Well, no. What about, the golf course?
oh, you got the gated communities.
That's right,
Yeah, they still have kids to the school,
and even, on Southwick Hill, those are all.
yeah,
all those condos.
they still have.
And that's-
So the thing of it is, you gotta understand, those. They have
They
two
still call the
options,
police, they still call the in there.
right, but still, the process with that is when it goes before, like when I was a safety officer, it goes before, so you either have. What's they call it, that's what F. Can't remember, and then the standard. If they go with this mode, they can not have to do the standards of what a regular street is. If they go with the regular mode. The width of the
Oh,
street,
yeah,
the
they
drainage and
have
everything,
that,
it meets those standards, then the town can,
if they accept it.
right, if they accept it.
Then they file
But,
it. Yeah, I know.
like Southwick Hill, it's thinner, smaller, and doesn't have to meet those standards as much. Okay,
Anyway,
Anyway,
okay,
another
so
time.
we gotta go about the written minutes
All
here.
right,
yeah, I read
From
them.
April 3rd, you wanna go? over them?
I did, I read them, they're.
oh, I need,
they're-
Yeah, these ones are for Megan.
Megan, yeah,
oops.
Really wasn't.
Well, we haven't had much to discuss.
And you did the information for the town report.
Right here, to me, 4600.
What's that?
4,600 for the Pine Valley Canal thing.
Oh, it's up to that now, okay,
Well, that's what you said last week.
okay.
Motion to approve the minute.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Okay, we're all up there. Now. Is this a Linda thing, the Robert Rules of Order in here?
No, I think
No,
you had,
those are from when I was going out. Michelle Hill just wanted everybody to be on the same page. No,
No,
that's just left over in your folder.
that was there before.
yeah,
All of that.
All of
stuff
that
was
is
there.
shit.
Cheat sheet and it.
All I have to do is this. All I have to do is. read
Okay,
it.
just looking at the mail.
You didn't do it that before?
No, it's been in there for a
It's
while.
been in there. We got.
You can take it, you can do whatever you want. I just
I've
didn't.
not seen that.
We got this last time.
what about the financial report? We haven't spent any money,
Okay, financial.
we haven't spent any money,
We approved them.
are we,
Other than what Cindy spent for supplies.
right,
Yeah, that was a while ago.
And
but yeah, it was a while ago.
we've only got a month left and we don't have that much money anymore.
Right,
And, have you, do you need to purchase anything else? As far as supplier, I mean cabinets or folders or whatever,
what we're gonna do is, we're gonna talk to Dave about getting, let's see, some of them here, but I think
Not
there's,
ours.
right,
I don't know,
I'll tell, well,
although the bookcase might, be,
I know.
because it's got historical stuff in it. But I don't, but those are not up our account.
No, right, they're still up in that room. So I'll see Dave and try to see if he can get them down here,
So where would they go? And we would move our bookcase with our stuff
over here, we'll see if they can tuck it in there, I guess,
and the cabinet and the, but the thing
That's
is,
not your cabinet, right?
that's not our cabinet, that
No.
was down here. We still have the,
Oh.
we still need our.
still
cabinet.
upstairs.
But I think that's our bookcase.
It
And,
is, it is.
but Cindy said that Art is using that room, so I don't know who gets the computer.
That's the computer. And that's the printer.
That's ours,
That's the computer, yeah.
from up there?
From
Oh,
upstairs,
That's the computer, yeah.
Oh.
But there was one here before,
Yeah, Jim said that's the computer.
okay.
so we gotta get this all hooked up again, okay.
Alright.
So are we done with the financial report?
yep,
Okay,
I don't know if we have to accept it or not, but.
and there's nothing really in the mail, correct? That's all we got.
No. And did you ever get the key from select board while I was gone, or is it still with them? That's what I was gonna ask you today.
The one that replaced you, I thought she was going to get it.
Oh, Megan has the key?
I don't know whether she took it or not. She
Okay.
never did say.
I'm in the select board tomorrow, so I'll see if it's there.
Cause we didn't, the reason, you know, the March 13th. We couldn't get into the mail. Because we didn't have the key.
I left it in the drawer for the select board, but it's
Oh.
fine. I'll see,
Okay.
I'll see
Yeah.
Megan tomorrow. And it'll
Okay,
be in the select board tomorrow, so I'll figure it out.
And then we're up to down to other businesses again. It's with the canal thing.
and so what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to vote to approve them to go ahead?
No,
think the
I,
selectmen
she's
already
just keeping
did
us
that.
informed. I think we're all
Okay.
set. She was just, I want to make sure everybody knew, she was just keeping us all.
Oh,
informed.
okay.
That was costing more money,
Yeah, we knew that,
because the
but
town
Carl,
had more money there, so
but Carl.
anyway.
Do something
No, I don't
at
think
our
so.
next meeting. Okay.
No, I think we're all set.
'Cause I,
And
you
she
know, I
hasn't got a
sure
hold of me again, so,
wants them to go ahead, so that's fine, we're okay with that.
but she was talking like they may have more to add to it for Southwick. So, because I think she said they were up to 17 and she says it. Is that the Historical Society that keeps adding on to it? Is that? Are they the ones that keep adding on to it? Like. the
Society?
member Adding more things to,
No, I don't think so, I think either, they submitted it to Mass Historic, because I think they wanted to get it on the National Register or something, the canal, all the way up to Northampton, and they, or wherever it goes, and they, maybe they came back and said, hey, I need a little bit more information on this and
Okay.
this. Mass Historic. Otherwise, I don't know why they came along.
did we lose Richard?
No, he's still there.
He's still there, we just lost his picture.
Oh, okay. Richard, you still there?
Why is it ended?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm just listening in. But is your camera rolling or is your camera on? Because
The camera is not on. I don't wanna mess with it, cause I don't want it to end the recording or anything like that.
oh,
I don't-
okay.
I don't wanna unplug the owl and
But
have
we
it all
know
mess
you're
up.
there. 'Cause it says
Yeah.
Richard Barthel.
But we do have 10 minutes left for the recording.
All right. I'm just wondering. All right.
Never been told that before. So.
And I was gonna say, that's odd.
Yeah, I've never heard
Yeah.
that. I said
We
it.
better talk fast.
Under open discussion. Ms. McQuaid,
Oh, now what what are you gonna ask her to do?
since we do not have Cassandra anymore, because I don't know where she is, would you want to be on part of that, the CPC?
The representative from the
The
Historic
representative.
Commission to the CPC committee on our meeting group.
Because she was a representative.
What does that entail? I mean, is that, if somebody comes before us, I mean, a letter isn't good enough, we have to go.
No.
I think
we
it's
need-
representation at their meeting.
At their meeting,
Yeah,
when they're,
we usually been sending a letter, but okay, somebody wants
So
to,
somebody
because they go
physically
before
present.
you guys, yeah.
they come to us first.
No,
No,
the
no,
thing,
no.
just any CPC meeting, they want a representative
From each committee or whatever.
at the CPC table. That's what, so
Yeah.
Sandra was, I don't even know how many meetings she made actually, but
I have reached out to her a couple
It did,
times,
it didn't.
and I know you tried.
she's, obviously she doesn't plan on returning, I'm gonna guess, because it's been a while.
Is that too much for you?
Yeah, I don't know when they meet, I have no idea when they meet, where they meet, what, how many times they meet.
I think that we meet once a month too, I believe.
Well, I don't know, if they have something else going on, they may need more than that, but you're right, I don't know either. We can look into
I'll
it.
have to think about it.
Okay,
Could be Mark too.
No, Mark is not, right now I have way too much. to do.
let's deal with this dad.
Hmm?
Deal with this dad.
Yeah, I'm going with my mom.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know, it's like,
I'm
you know.
dealing with my
oh,
brother,
oh,
I'm dealing with my brother.
I know.
So we're all got something going on, but anyway, we'll find out how often they meet and,
You're Richard. All right, Richard.
yeah, he could do it.
What?
Just say you could do it.
No, he just goes, what?
Oh.
We're talking about a representative to the CPC meetings
Right.
committee from this commission.
Oh my.
Yeah,
But we can discuss it in June.
Yeah,
Right, right.
there was something else. Were you gonna bring up something else tonight?
I have things to bring up
Is that
really quick.
What's that?
First of all, the stuff that you brought last week, this folder that you brought last month, remember with the Congamon that we're gonna give.
Board of Health, yeah.
Yeah, so we just got to make a motion to give that to the Historical Society. Remember we were discussing that?
Okay, yeah, we don't want to keep it.
No, because there's nothing there that, I mean, I can't, unless you can think of something, I can't think of any reason that we need to.
Judgment.
I'm just saying, I mean, I looked through, it's pictures, it's news articles, it's news about the whole process of what happened.
Right.
Right.
Court case and everything like that.
Yeah, right, so it's probably better off with them than it is with us, because
Any news articles by Linda McQuaid in there?
there might be, I can't, I
I think it's older than.
No, there was a 1978 article in it.
Was it really?
But I mean, most of it is late 50s, early 60s,
Okay,
just some pictures. But I said, I can't think of what, what our purpose is. I don't see where that fulfills any thing.
Okay, so we can motion to vote.
Make a motion to-
Who, how do we get them?
I can Yeah, I think you can.
I'll make a motion to pass that on to this Historical Society.
And I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
How do we get it to them?
I'll give it to him.
Okay.
I told him, I was gonna, yeah, I'll get it to him.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good, Richard.
Next one to discuss. Lee also, so upstairs, when the art show was going on,
Mhm.
I don't know if you were here or not.
No, I didn't.
And
I didn't
it
go.
poured with rain on that Sunday.
Yeah.
And our old room leaked.
Yeah. didn't
Did
know.
anything get damaged?
Nothing was damaged.
Yeah.
But Lee just happened to be here. And he saw a box sitting there, which he has since delivered to my house, which is where it sits at the moment. And he said, no one else, I'm the only one who knows what this is, so I took it. And he called me up and he said, so I said, fine, bring it to me and I will make sure it gets to where it needs to go. So what it is, it's a bunch of, it's got the plans to the old library. It's got tax records from
And you
the
didn't
early,
bring it with you.
it's in my car. I didn't want to bring it into the building, because like I said, if I'm not gonna haul it in, and not that it's like weighs 6 tons, but I just figured I'm making it one trip. Because Lee's suggestion, I told him, he came to my house a couple times, says, write this down. So his first thing is that we turn this over to the town clerk. Like, not just say, here, come downstairs and get it, but like, give it to him.
To put in the archives type thing?
To put it, even though he says it's supposed to be, it's not a fireproof room, but it's a,
Right, we do have old deeds up in the room too,
Right.
that should go to her as well.
well, right, so this is stuff that came out of the library back in whenever he did this, so it could have been, anyways, it's, so that's the first thing, but then he says these documents need to be conserved, and he said she had CPA money to do that a while ago. So she says we should check and see if there are any residual funds left, and that I guess you send it out to an archivist or someone who actually does the preserving part of this. And then they come back. And then and whether it's them or us, I don't know, and he wasn't.
But who goes through the documents to see which is worthy of it? Are they
All, yes, because the lease
Because-
says under state law, there's property stuff in there. There's,
But there's also stuff in our old office.
right, that we should, right,
That should be included if we're
Right.
going to ask.
Yep.
The town clerk for those, funds,
Yeah.
because there's old deeds in there that he had told me to give to her that are still sitting there.
mhm,
They didn't get waterlogged. And so it should be all included all at once.
right, so like, I'm just gonna. There's bonds in here, it was early 1900, but then there's property records that go to like, I think they start in 1799.
Mhm.
And he categorized them all in folders, by year.
Isn't a lot of that still kept with the assessors?
But I don't remember, he said something about the assessors, but he told me this should go into the room. That it's supposed to be fireproof, but he said it's not, but it's where the town records, because by state law, they're supposed to keep all these.
Right. That's what he told me about some of the deeds and stuff that are
Right.
there too, so.
But I'm just saying, but I didn't wanna just leave them, even though they've been upstairs in the room, but now to leave them like just kind of laying around. I didn't wanna just leave them laying around.
Right.
And I don't know that obviously she's not here at the moment, and then the election's tomorrow, so I'm sure she's, whether,
It'd be really tight up.
Yeah,
there.
right, so I'm just saying, do I call her, do you wanna, or I'll keep them with me and I'll call and say, I need to get with you and bring this stuff to you, when you wanna do this?
And then ask her about the.
And then the
Yeah.
other stuff, and then I asked him. So after I hand these off and they say, whoever says we're gonna do this, I said, do I need to check back with her? And he says,
Since the town hall is closed on Fridays,
yeah,
I would wait
Oh,
till
man.
next week, because she's gonna be tied up with the election, all that stuff, and
no, that's fine, I don't mind keeping it, I just wanted
Yeah.
to.
yeah, you can do that. I have no problem.
But we're gonna have to get into that room and get the other.
Oh, I
stuff.
did go into that room was open, I came in here,
I don't think they're locking it anymore.
I came in here on a Friday to pay and I found out that it was closed, so I came down here, I went up there, the door was open. Yeah, the file cabinet's still over there in the corner, the other cabinet's still against the wall, but the ceiling was fixed.
Yeah,
Um,
but I
But I didn't, but
trying to think where those other things were, and maybe they were in the box that he grabbed, I don't know.
they could be, I
They
don't
could
know,
be.
I didn't look through everything.
But there was some 17 something.
1799, yeah, it's all in there, so maybe it's in there,
It's already in there.
there could be deeds in there, there was just, and I'll show you, like. Like, I just took some pictures of it, but there's an envelope that was addressed to, the select board was also the overseers of the poor. All these are on,